Hey there, Susan Staples Bell here, and I just wanted to introduce you to this exciting new resource for your studio. This is the next step in your creative journey. It's a method book for exploring piano skills that are essential for improvisation, and it's a step-by-step guide to take those ideas and turn them into compositions. I heard from so many teachers who said they use exploring improvisation as a kind of a seed, some ideas for compositions. And I thought, that's a really smart way to use that resource. Why don't we actually do that with intention and give some ideas in lots of different styles and actually give some tips to turn that into compositions? So that's what this is. Let me just walk you through the book. We have 31 ready to use lessons. Every lesson is a 2-page easy to print spread. So we have a skill that we need to be learning, and then we take that skill and we use it in a composition. So we start really easy. The first one is repeated notes. Repeated notes are really important in a good melody. Give the ear something to grab onto. So therefore, our first prompt is called earworm. We want something repetitive, something the ear can catch onto. And we're going to explore the important skill of recognizing intervals. So we put those things together. That's just the first one. There's 31 of these. Going through imitation is a really important skill that we're going to practice that using pedal, maybe conversation in the canyon. Steady beat, we can tie that to repeated notes as well. Steady beat is so important, but let's remember all our chords. And so we got a chord prompt here, rock solid pedal power. We need some awesome stuff here. It goes on, we've got some cross-handed arpeggios. We have some confining ourselves to using the same rhythm over and over, but also explore leaps and intervals. How about open fifths? I love open fifths for a left-hand pattern. Whispering wind, beautiful. We're exploring different scales, a lot in C, but we also have here's a G natural minor. Of course, I love the blues, so we're going to talk about swing rhythm. We've got an easy little shuffle here, 12-bar blues, figuring this out. You get the idea. This goes on and on. Here's a reggae piece. Here's another waltz. I love waltzes. Explaining relative major and minor. We're going to use G major, but we have E minor chords because they all work together. You know what's something new in this book? I explored a lot of classical styles. So I talked about staccato in the Baroque style, and I used musette as Bach's musette as an inspiration. I tried to pick some pieces that students would know. Everybody likes Moonlight Sonata. What a wonderful time to talk about triplets. So here's our own take on using triplets, and we're going to improvise and develop our own melody. Anyway, you get the idea. This is tons of resources. We talk about chords. Ooh, there's a 6/8 section. We also have a jazz section talking about different rhythms and different voice leadings and inversions. But also, if you're a praise pianist, I talk about how to noodle under and maybe play during a prayer time or in class. And then there's a whole jazz section about different riffs and fills. And then how to comp. I have a lot of people ask me, I have students in jazz band. How do I comp? Well, here is some voicings that you need for comping in jazz band. I also have a really cocktail piano type little chord progression where you can improvise. First, I tell you how to do it with just your right hand just to learn the chords. Then we put those chords in the left hand, and I show you how to make a jazz melody using some grace notes and other fills and stuff. More fun for left hand. This is really a comprehensive book. What about left hand melodies? That is so cool. We don't do that very often. And the next to last one is using the chromatic scale. I give you some chord progressions for left hand to follow, and you can improvise with a chromatic scale. The last one is theme and variations. Take your favorite prompt and let's develop it. Let's hear the things to change. Then there's a checklist, your composer's toolbox, that talks about different things you might want to think about. And then engraving is so important. Here's a checklist and things to think about when you're engraving. What a wonderful resource. I know you're going to want to add this to your studio. The Next Step in Your Creative Journey by Susan Staples Bell.